But I want to ask you, Rodney, well, both of you guys, because you have said this, Rodney, where you're like, I think we're all wired the same.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some are a little bit more deranged than others, but we all have the same schematics, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys stay on the straight and narrow in your lives?
You go first. You have really good parents. Like, I know your parents.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came over for a bit.
Oh, yeah. And then
Chilling
we
in
had
White
dinner
Rock.
that night. And
Yeah, that was cool. Charlie
yeah, I remember listening to you that when we were hanging out having dinner.
Yeah, all my high school friends worked at that restaurant.
Huh.
Damn, that just went. Wait, what was the question?
Point being.
How'd you guys make good choices through your life?
We made good choices? I don't know.
You have, yes.
Yeah. Feed the good wolf. I feel like.
That's an awesome thing. That's a shirt.
Yeah. Not
a
as
graphic.
It's not as good as Pony Complex, but we're working on it. I don't know. I want to know your answer, dude.
No, you finish your answer, then
I
Rodney's next.
did. I gave a quick one. I gave a quickie. I was trying to hand it off.
It's been handed.
How do you frame it in a decent amount? It is. I think we all have something it's probably a little off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you seek out stuff that lets you be free. And we found skating together, yet we're all really kind of different, and those nuances and the beauty of skateboarding, I think, also. And I'll come back to staying on the right path, but I think ultimately, the whole arc of it, as if we're done, right? But yeah, man, after the arc of it, is the beauty is we found this place where all of us are drawn to it. We tend to be drawn to things that only exacerbate or help leverage the stuff that makes us different to begin with. And so we develop powers that make us even stronger in that independence, I think, and whatever it takes to push that little bit extra, where pain is good or whatever it is. And I think at the end of the day, for as different as we are, if we come from such radically different places, we have some connection and bond through skateboarding. And again, that's, to me, it's just the beauty of skateboarding. So when you say how, like, right decisions, I saw, not too much detail, but I saw people seemingly squared away that could do not just bad things, but when do we discuss evil, right? At some point you think, okay, that's just not just bad, it's getting there. And then you start wondering why, and then you're on this hyper alert of, wow, there's a spectrum of people. They can be in mansions, they can be in ghettos, they can be wherever, and they all have the same fabric. Some just cloak it a little bit better, right? It's like American Psycho style, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? American Psycho?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The business cards.
There's that. So what is the point? Is being on the alert for seeing, oh, this is what some people very capable of murder or whatever look like.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fully functioning, but you're just watching, you recognize it. And you step back. And I don't know, you say you pray, like I always, as a kid, yeah, I prayed. I grew up in the South trying to push away faith because of televangelism or whatever. Angry about that, but yet always drawn to it. And then I had an up-close personal with someone who went like, committed, actually family member, and came back, had a story of someone who saw a vision that was right when it couldn't be right, details. And that was enough to change his life. And devoted his life to Crowleyism and Golden Dawn and all this hardcore magic stuff. He had a doctor's degree, was a successful doctor. And I remember going into his room, and you seen those ritual daggers, the squiggly ones, and the candles and rope.
Yeah,
but they were
like
in his
Dungeons and
medical
Dragons,
bag.
maybe.
This is the real thing.
Yeah.
And it was in his medical bag. And this is family.
Whoa.
And I remember looking at it. I'm thinking, man, these cats are ending up missing around the neighborhood, and at best. And I'm thinking, all right, seeing that kind of darkness, which is kind of what I'm drawn to. I think maybe you're the similar, right? You're drawn to something. But then seeing it, that brought me back to light. And so
Yeah.
in the arc of things, if I can bring maybe the three ideas together, that recognizing whether squared away suits, doctors, there's evil in there, they can be cloaking it. And then people sometimes, I remember like going on the road with Menace and like some of those characters, a couple of them are doing time, one of them, right, caught with a body in the trunk type of thing before he's on his way to the desert. And I love this dude. And oddly enough to me, I trusted him more than people like from way squared away because he would never lie to me. My point is being exposed to so many people in skateboarding who are on fringes, on edges. You recognize the whole time you have more in common with them than maybe the average people around. At least we have this belonging, right? This, I think, if anything, folded me into whatever you do, we have a certain amount of gifts. We've been given this freakish thing. Make the most of them, right? Just go try to help each other belong. Sense of belonging, to me, that's wealth beyond all. So what is it that kept me straight? Being exposed to stuff that...
Where one choice could just turn it into total darkness.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
People so much like you, people of your same blood, and there's darkness,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then people from another world, and there's so much darkness, yet there's light through what we share.
Yin yang.
So, yeah.
Didn't you kind of experience that, Tony, when you were, like, you saw people that were in your...
Well,
you
sure.
were all
I
doing
mean,
the
my
same thing?
peers, it was all
Right.
well documented. But yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it was like
Oh, yeah.
people were partying on the decks
Right.
of the ramps, you know, while we were trying to skate, and it was like,
Yeah.
and somehow that was a badge of honor, and I was like, that sucks.
Right, but you watched their...
I watched it when I watched their
abilities
downfall,
decline,
sure,
right.
and I watched their abilities decline. Yeah, obviously, and then.
Dude, I
But it was just
remember-
never like I had Rodney's mindset, and I'm sure yours too, where the priority and the skating was paramount to everything else.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I had to
Yeah.
do my best skating at every turn, at every whatever, at every video, even just practice sessions. I had to do something that I felt like I was impressive to myself to be even content, right? And then going and doing demos and be like, I'm gonna do everything I have here. I've been watching old videos lately, like a few demos that we've done have popped up lately. And I eat shit so hard at these demos,
Yeah,
at least
me
once or
too.
twice. I'm like, no wonder my fucking neck hurts so bad.
Yeah.
But I had to give it my all every single time. And if I was partying, there's no way I could give it my all.
Yeah.
It was going to be half-assed, and it was going to be terrible and phoning it in. And
Tony, if-
that was not acceptable. I mean, is that how you felt, right?
Look, not only how I felt, but because we're just waiting around doing our thing. I'll say this, you know, I took so much from you watching you do that. Not many people related to winning all these contests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I would watch you do, because the pool stuff, freestyle, whatever, sideshow.
Freestyle's
but-
awesome.
Oh, you're going to get away with it, right?
No, man. So,
That'd be the first time I said that on the show.
well, thank you for inviting me to this. How awesome.
That's so great.
So, Tony, I mean, you know, Christian, you, like all that, all the lights at night, like the drama, all the like sequences and flashes. Stacy, oh my gosh, I listened to your podcast when you talked about calling Stacy.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God, the fact you bottled that up inside of you, just sip on it, you know?
Dude.
That advice, that is gold.
Yeah. Stacy's giving me some. I got it. Yeah, I got it written down and read, well read.
Two notes on that, but one first to finish Tony is quickly enough is, Tony, I would watch all that drama and you guys flying around and you just killing it. And then for all of it, and you'd win. And then you'd go right back to that back half pipe or whatever and just keep going after the contest. It wasn't the contest that gave
Oh,
you
the
a
contest was the
crown or-
release. It was like,
exactly,
oh, now I can
like
learn
I'm
something.
liberated
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that crap.
Oh my God,
That-
absolutely.
The,
Yeah.
the best in show
Yeah,
stuff.
the chains are off now.
I
Let's
hear
go.
you. I relate to that.
That's how I learned accidents.
Wait, that's how I learned accidents. What is that?
Invert to layback air.
Oh wow!
The
Oh, you
day
call them
after a
accidents?
contest.
Like,
Yeah,
you
they
rotate
are.
I'm
around?
like, that's because
Yeah.
It was an
because
accident.
he's being
Yeah.
so modest that it's. That was one of the tricks where when I watched the Animal Chin video, I'm like, how do you do that? And I was positive that he's in a hand plant and then he looks the other way, and I'm like, you
No.
look the other way, and he's like, I don't look the other way. I fall the other way, so I look where I'm going, and I'm like. How does that make sense?
But that's how it was the day after a contest at Del Mar, and then we're obviously the next day. I was like, yes, contest is over.
Yeah.
We can skate the pool however we want. And then I was just practicing stalling inverse, and then when I just stalled, and then all of a sudden I fell back the other way, and I was held onto it,
Hell yeah.
and that
Which
was an
is
accident. But
insane.
Man, that slow fall and then looking and you just went with it? That's what it was?
yeah, I landed super low, but
Nevertheless.
I was pretty high.
That must have
But
felt awesome.
It's
Like,
funny
you must
because
felt
but it's
like an
funny to
eternity.
think that I didn't think that was going to move the needle or anything. I didn't even think I created something new. It was just like, oh man, that was weird.
My needle flew off.
You know what I mean? That was
after
weird.
the
And
sky
it was
when you
like,
did
and it was
that.
more like, I'm never going to be able to recreate that on purpose.
Yeah.
And I never really could.
Yeah.
But it always but then when it happened, I was cool with it.
Yeah, you just lock in.
And then I just saw a video recently. I did Elgarial in a contest to accident.
Wow.
Because I got
And
stuck there.
thought-
Cut the clip. I don't know
I
what
thought he
you're
did it on
talking about.
purpose.
I got to find that one. I know.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't picture this at all.
The best part about those days was trying to figure out how to do your stuff on vert. That was the best. Like, I mean, did you know finger flip air? That was originally called a mutt air. Did you know that?
I did not know that it was called a mutt air.
Finally trumped him on some trivia.
Good.
Dang. Okay, now I know.
Yeah, that was it. Because I was like, I finally learned a Rodney trick in the air, finger flip. So I called it the mutt air.
That's
Didn't
perfect because
stick. No one says it, but we tried, Rodney.
That in itself, I'm taking that. I never knew that myself.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was
I
written in
never
a
knew.
magazine once. I said the mud air, and I was like,
you didn't read that copy.
No, I never did. You look at the pictures. You know?
I was in Australia.
I
I was in Australia at a water ski shop where there was a skate section, and the guy behind the counter said that there's this dude Tony Hawk in America that does finger flip, and I called him out for being a bullshit artist. I was like, "Shut up, idiot! This guy doesn't know anything." And I'm like, "How's that even work?"
Yeah.
And he's like, he flips it, and I'm like, "And then what happens?"
And
he's
he
like, "He grabs it
catches
again."
it.
I'm like, "What? The nose again?" Yeah. And I'm like, "No, that's impossible. That's not how it happens." And then we got magazines like a couple months later, and there it was, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, that's
Yeah.
a real thing.
Yeah.
You can do that."
Yeah, it's pretty
I
hard
mean,
to
he
believe.
could do that.
It's like,
oh, I was.
You could do that.
the fact
Nobody
that
else.
you
Yeah, but
caught
that's
it
that's
again.
another thing. Rodney feels the same way, and I sense that you might too. Where you do that kind of thing, and it's just your own personal achievement and goal. And you don't think anyone really cares. Like it was just so awkward, and it was so
You were wrong.
bizarre, and it wasn't cool.